Hello folks, Ty here, and it's time for some more Spirit Island. Today let's go up against Brandenburg-Prussia, who from here on out I'm going to call BP to save precious syllables. BP level 6 is a very easy to describe adversary. They take out all the stage 1 invader cards, that's basically it. So in a normal game of Spirit Island you have a time limit of 12 turns, against BP 6 you only have 8. So this matchup is all about speed, and despite Vengeance being kind of a slow to get going spirit, I don't find this matchup too troubling, and a big reason for that is that as you approach the late game, you can cash in your disease tokens to prevent key cities from being built. But yeah, general gist is that this is not an adversary that you can afford to durdle around on. Speaking of durdling, Gift of Constancy is a great card, but it is off element for Vengeance, and it doesn't really contribute to our win condition, which is usually get to Terror level 3 ASAP. We have the option of 2 early defends here, which is very nice, and even though Drift Down into Slumber costs 0, we're going to take Dark Entangled Woods because generating fear is very important against BP. And we're going to go for the classic Vengeance opening here of Fiery plus Fetid. We want to use Fiery Vengeance to stop one of the 3 builds that we can here, and I think we're going to go for land 4. We've got land 7 covered with a defend next turn, and we'd rather grow into a Dahan land and save a Dahan, so I think this makes the most sense. There's a small chance that the Beast token handles a town next turn, which would save land 6. Yeah. We will definitely let this through for a fear. And we have to do BP's escalation effect here, which is add a town to a land without one. We'll throw it in land 5 because we don't want to add it to any of the lands that are currently acting. We'll use Fetid in land 1 and pull the pieces out next turn with Plague Bearers. Let's go for another growth 3. If we didn't have a defend here, we would growth 2 and put presence into both jungles to get both disease tokens off the Ravages. But because we do, we have the luxury of going for another draft here. We're offered Entrap here, which is a top tier minor card for Vengeance in my opinion. It just does so much. Our other option is Call to Bloodshed, which I'm not super stoked about looking at this board. So yeah, we'll scoop up Entrap here and be very happy about it. And we'll now put our presence in the Blighting Jungle for that sweet, sweet disease. Yep. We'll play our Defend and Plague Bearers to solve some lands. Event is Thriving Trade. Add a coastal city to a land that has one. That's bad. But we add a disease. That's good. And finally, we get to move a presence from a Dahan land and deal 2 damage. Our option here is to kill the town in either land 5 or land 3. Land 5 does have blight in it, which is a concern. But I think it's better to spread our presence out, clear out the coasts, and stay in a Dahan land. Next turn actually we can just pull the blight out of the sands and kill both the cities in the wetlands. Yeah, so let's do this. Pretty good event for us. Fear card. Add a strife in a land with presence. Sweet. Save this a blight. Go to Ravage. Yep. Get a disease and blight in land 2. Let this build through. We're going to Plague Bearers it out. Another escalation. We'll add the town again to a land that isn't acting. We'll add it to this corner jungle since it has some Dawn. Plague Bearers. Come on over to this wetland, guys. You'll love it here. We're going to growth 2 here and play the rest of our hand out before reclaiming. Putting 1 presence in the Ravaging land, and the other probably in the Dawn land. We will play Strike Low even though there's no Ravage for us to stop, because that will give us Epidemics Run Rampant, which will kill 2 cities in the wetlands, which is definitely worth it. Taking down 2 cities this early is pretty awesome. Our event this turn is Harvest Bounty, Harvest Dust. Ooh. This is a very interesting spot. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to explain my reasonings on the fly here without sounding like a gibbering idiot. Okay, pause the video. I want to highlight this spot here, because it's a perfect example of how to think as Vengeance, or at least how I think as Vengeance. So we have to pick a land that has buildings and Ravage there. We also played Strike Low on Wetlands Land 2, which skips all Ravages. We could, and if we were any other spirit, we probably would, pick that land as the spot to ravage and brag about how smart we are for predicting the event. I know there's a school of thought out there regarding this specific matchup that preaches that the best way to play it is to minimize blight taken at all costs. I don't agree with that at all because it makes no sense to me. Blight is a resource for us to utilize that powers our spirit up. If we're presented an opportunity in which it is strategically beneficial, and that's the tricky part, strategically beneficial for us to take a blight, then we should take it. Like I mentioned, this particular matchup is about prioritizing speed and being efficient. Running out of time is more of a concern than running out of blight. With all that said, I believe it is more strategically beneficial to actually take the ravage in our jungle, land 7. If we do that, we trade a Dahan, a presence, and an added blight for a town destroyed, a disease token, at least 1 point of fear, we get more if jungles comes up in the future, a Badlands, plus we then have future control in that land, and by getting rid of the town, we prevent a city from being built in the future. Provided we can afford to take this blight, which in this spot I think we can, this trade is awesome to me. The strongest argument against this line that I can think of is that this makes us go Blighted Island this turn. I could probably make an entire video about Vengeance and the Blighted Island cards, but the short version is, having played tons and tons of Vengeance games, I am never scared about going Blighted, because the majority of the Blighted Island cards and Blighted Island events are actually beneficial for us. Versus Brandenburg-Prussia in particular, I consider 4 of the 15 digital Blighted Island cards possibly bad to get. 1 is the Still Healthy card that increases the fear pool, and the other 3 are the ones that add surprise cities. If I'm against BP and my Blighted Island card is one that adds surprise cities, I'd actually prefer to know about it sooner rather than later so I have ample time to deal with them. If you're holding off going Blighted until like turn 6 or 7 and suddenly 2 cities are put on the board you weren't expecting, that can easily screw you over. The other 11 Blighted Island cards are either fine or actually favorable for us. Okay, I'm done, that's my rant. Back to the game. This takes out an Explorer in the jungle, sure. And nothing. Fear card gives us some meaningless defense. Second one removes an Explorer from a Dahan land, awesome. Land 3 is cleared. And we go Blighted. Downward Spiral, great album, and great card for us. We now know we have tons of blight to work with, and we get a disease token every turn. Fantastic. Jungles Explore, and we need to do an escalation here. So we want to pick either mountain or wetlands, because they aren't acting. And because we have a defend for the mountain, I think it makes sense to put it there. Okie doke, let's go for a reclaim here. And we'll grab a miner. Ugh. I'm pretty bad at finding animal cards when I'm recording. Trying to maintain a sacred site when we're forced to sack a presence each turn is not very realistic, so I'm off those 2 cards. We're probably going to take Call to Guard and play it this turn. It'll kill the town that gets built in land 7, which is pretty great. Just wondering about what else we're playing this turn. We don't really want to play one of our animal cards this turn because that might cut us off of epidemics in this cycle, and we definitely want to be hitting our innate as much as possible. Our defend is no good this turn, so I'm considering how we can maybe use Fiery Vengeance. Yeah, like, I don't want to play Fetid this turn. I think we use it to hit the town for 1 damage in land 6. There's a chance the beast token deals 1 damage and finishes it off, which would stop a city from being built, which would be huge. Also, we don't want to hit the Explorer because the beast token might just kill that for us too. Fiery does get us the point of fear to Terror level 2, which could be pretty big. Yeah, I think I've talked myself into it. Let's do it. Ping the town, Terror level 2, Call to Guard here. Yeah, let's drag him over and just double checking. Yes, this is my power. So, Blight is Badlands. Sack a presence. This is building, so no tie. Let's be smarter and destroy the one that's getting destroyed anyways. Event. Invaders deal 3 more damage. Whatever. Beast destroys the Explorer, yep. And nothing off the Dahan event. Fear card, Unrest. Add a Strife token. Strifed pieces have -1 health. We're so smart and good looking. So happy I'm recording this. Town goes up, town goes down. An extremely good turn for us. For 0 energy and no animal elements, we solved both our threatened lands. Just a gigantic tempo swing. We'll grow to 3 card plays. We'll put 1 presence in this threatened Dahan land. And the other we should probably put in the center sands to help out taking down the city. We don't need to play Strike Low at all this turn, so we can just play our 3 other animal cards. We get Epidemics tier 2 now. We are 13 fear away from Terror level 3. I guess we could play Strike Low to hit Savage Revenge. Nah, it's not worth it. Epidemics can kill either the Sand City or the Mountain City. We'll destroy this one, and then we'll move the Blight out. The Center Sands is now free to Ravage, and we've got Strike Low for land 8. Downward Spiral. We could sack the Mountain Presence and prevent the city, but we should have a couple fear cards plus the defend there for next turn. So I think we go with this one. We either get a point of fear or we solve the land by preventing the build. Yeah. Event is Eager Explorers. So Xenophobia means we lose a Dahan, which sucks, but we're approaching the end of the game, so not a big deal. Push from a beast token, nada. And nothing. We get 1 fear card here. Remove an explorer or town from a land with presence. I'm not sure why, but I always have to check what lands this card defends. So yeah, this is great. Get rid of this town and defend the land next turn. We lose our Dahan in the Ravage. And now we build. I think we let this through. If it blights next turn, that's fine. This Center Sands is trying to make a city though, which is much more of a consideration. We are 10 fear away and have 1 city on the board. I think we canceled this one. We've also got Fetid plus Plaguebearers in the slow, which will solve the Center Sands if there's no city there. Yeah, I think that makes sense. This mountain's making a town, which is fine. Sands coming up again is a little bit of a complication. So we're 7 fear away after we play these cards. I don't think we can kill the last city and get 7 fear next turn if we reclaim. Also, the cards we have left in hand line up perfectly for next turn, so that's another reason not to reclaim. We've been doing a good job keeping these cities under wraps. What to do now? Well, this here is a high value Plaguebearers play. It solves the Ravage and build next turn. And I think we Fetid here, just for the point of fear when it builds. Right? Yeah, I think so. We can sack our Sands presence off Downward Spiral next turn to stop the city being built there. Sure. Let's go for a draft. Animal card to hit Epidemics and nuke the wetlands would be nice. Unreal. It's usually not this hard to get animal cards, trust me folks. These cards are all total duds. I guess we take Roiling Bog just for the point of fear. Alright, play all these. Skip the Ravaging Mountain. Throw Bog over here. Defend our other mountain. Oh, I guess since Sands actually ravages then builds, we'll get a disease token off the Ravage. So we can get rid of this one then. Savage Revenge can then hit the Center Sands too. Dahan, trade with the invaders. What do we got on the board here? So yeah, we want Dahan to participate in Ravage. That's fine. Move a disease over. We don't need all this disease in here. No, that's dumb. This is smart. Fear cards. Whole whack and defend. Okay. More defend. Sure. Get rid of this town. Oh, damn it. This didn't blight. We're so smart. Okay. So I had multiple opportunities, just put a disease token in the Center Sands and just didn't. Instead, I tried to be more clever than I probably needed to be. Welcome to my channel, folks. It wouldn't have mattered for the fear card we got, but I definitely shouldn't have defended the sands at all since there are other fear cards that add defend that would have saved it too. That's just a straight up mistake that could cost us the game. Easy win next turn if we added disease token there. We can't possibly win through raw fear, so we need to keep the cities down. And since fear doesn't matter anymore, I think we stop this build too. Strike low plus entrap plus fiery vengeance wins next turn in the slow, provided nothing weird happens. But let's go for a major here and see if we can win in the fast. Does weave work? Join the two city lands. Entrap to bring a blight over. Epidemics does 5 damage. We need 6. Oh, I'm dumb. Settle plus fiery plus animal element gets us there. Actually, we just threshold this. Never mind. I'm sorry, I still must be rattled from that fear card. Pull blight over. Settle for 5 damage and kill these buildings. And Epidemic's the last city. There we go. Play bad, win anyways. So despite the near punt at the end there, and only getting 1 animal card out of, what, 4 minor drafts? We did find a win. I think MVP goes to our defend card, Dark Entangled Woods. I think it got us 4 fear and stopped 2 blight. It kept some Dahan alive too. Certainly pulled its weight. Entrap was very handy as well, as it always is. Shifting blights around gave us the damage we needed to take down multiple cities, and we didn't have to put any time into worrying about cascades, which was very nice. We had that great 0 energy turn, and then beset by many troubles tried to kill us, but we got there anyways. Fun game. Thanks for watching.